ICE is taking out murderers. They're taking out drug lords. They're taking out people from mental institutions, bringing them back to their country. They're taking out the roughest people, Trinidad. The jails are emptied out from Venezuela. Now I like Venezuela very much. I say good things. I don't talk about Venezuela in a negative. I think it's a wonderful country. We just were. It's very interesting. It's so much different. It's changed so much in literally a week. It was one of the great military maneuvers of all time. It was like flawless. It was one of the great of all time. But we're dealing with the new president. We're dealing with a lot of the people that were running the country, and they had our first thing is they said we have 50 million barrels. Hard to believe, Eric. I said, is there such a thing as 50 million barrels? 50 million barrels of oil, and we have to get it processed immediately because we have no room. Will you take it? I said, we'll take it. I didn't have to consult with anybody on that. I didn't have to call up our great Attorney General. I said, we will take it. And it's the equivalent of $5.2 billion. That was the first day. And it's now traveling nicely to the United States. And we've had a great relationship with the people that are currently they say the interim president and everybody else. And it's been, I think a lot of pressure has been released. Because, that was a great country 20 years ago, and then it went bad because it had the wrong system. It had a bad system. And we can't ever fall into a position where we have that system, because that system isn't going to work. That system can make a lot of people that are good people, bad people, or incompetent people. But we passed the largest tax cuts in history, the largest regulatory cuts in history, and the largest spending cuts in history, and that got done. We call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. We have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. People that buy a car, they get a deduction now on their interest. If they buy a car and borrow money, it never happened before. Rich people that got used to taking deductions. People in middle-class situations or lower than middle class, they never got deductions on anything. They can now. I think it's going to have a huge impact. We're building more factories in the United States now than at any time in our history. And we have $18 trillion being invested. We have think of that, $18 trillion more than any country has ever had by 5 times. Think of that. There's never been anything even close. 3 trillion is the record. We're going to be, I think, at over 18. Through 10 months, it was 18. We could crack 20 by the time we have our first year, which will be in a little while, January 20th.